Don't you want that fucking blessing? It's the Parasite tree. Alright, today will be quite different from usual, seeing how I just recorded basically all of the Gebura story segments. I already know how long it is now, and this means we don't have a lot of time for the usual days, so I'm just gonna leave in a few highlights in between, as I did before, I think with some other... Was it the Tipper Twins, or did I do it for NatSec? I can't quite remember. So anyway, there's not a lot to do anyway, right? I don't have any new recruits for today. We're possibly gonna get some new ones next time when I unlock some more space in the departments. There's no new abnormality. I think last time we got the Naked Nest, right? And the only thing left to do for me right now is just go through the day and hopefully not fuck up, right? That's the Lambda Delta guarantee. Jesus. I even forgot how fucking great his sound is. Say hello to the widest hips on Earth, even in box form. Say hello to Gebura, everyone. We're reading her story today. God damn it, that's such a... Oh, I love the deep bass. Holy shit. Gebura, sorry, I was just standing here, amazed at the sound that just seems to flow through your body. What? Who are you? I am the one who's gonna stare longingly into your cleavage window. I don't know who I am. I guess I'm A. Introduce yourself, don't say anything. Let's try to be edgy. Maybe she likes that. Ah, you're the manager Tipperev was talking about. I am. Do you know the saying, silence may put a bullet in your head? I wish silence would put something else somewhere else. You better watch yourself. Other departments may kiss your ass even when you walk around with an air of arrogance for being a manager. But in here, such pompous attitude will become your news someday. Yeah, Gebura is all about getting good, right? Even though the last Tipperev mission is, I guess, beating a midnight ordeal. No. Tipperev's core suppression is surviving a midnight ordeal. Gebura's mission is beating a midnight ordeal, which is like a few leagues ahead of it even. So, well, the first part of the game basically was a tutorial. As soon as you reach Gebura, you are definitely forced to deal with the problems at hand. You're forced to let abnormalities out, or if they do get out, you're forced to not just cheese through them, but rather beat them in legitimate ways, which means killing them outright. Well, getting them back into the containment rooms by defeating them. Well, since you've made it here, I guess you won't be a dead weight at least. I'm Gebura, head of the disciplinary department. Yeah, what? I mean, it's very dark in here, Gebura, but I guess that's, like, to be expected in the not quite lower but middle lower departments. What's that bullshit over here, for example, Gebura? Is that like the stuff you inject into your ass to make it look bigger? We are the best combat department among the Sephiroth, so we don't need any cowards. Want to know the types I hate most? Do you step on them? Please? Crybabies who constantly whine about how abnormalities or employees are piteous and that they don't want to see anyone die. I've really taken this to heart, Gebura. I've let a few people die in my lifetime. You would be quite proud of me, I think. It's just like a soldier refusing to kill in the middle of a battlefield. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. If you're not one of those kind, then we can work together at least. Why do I... That's one of the mistranslations, and it's the pronouns, is that right? Is that what you call it? It's not why do I hate cowards and not why do I hate abnormalities, it's why do you hate cowards and why do you hate abnormalities. I guess it's written from the point of view of Gebura, weirdly enough. So why do you hate abnormalities, Gebura? Why does it require an explanation at all? Absolutely right. What are the abnormalities to you exactly? At this point, the manager doesn't know that the abnormalities are all sprung from the deep subconscious of a human or a concept and stuff. So, but basically they are still extracted from humans. So abnormalities for the manager at this point are just monsters. Holy entities? Poor creatures locked underground? Precious beings who produce energy for us? Wrong. Abnormalities can be damaged, but never destroyed. The abnormalities are an idea, and you can't kill an idea. But they can feel pain at least. Let's make life as painless as possible. Well, that was easy, don't you think? But sometimes your decision is too soft. Next time... Gebura, the suppression plan you sent me, isn't it too large? Alright, move on if you said your words. There was a similar incident before. I'm the head of the welfare team, so I should make note of this. Chesed, you're interrupting us. Get out. Don't you see that I got my trousers around my ankles and shit? Jesus. Yeah, got it. So why don't you return to your department with that coffee you love? And part of my department's ego seems to be malfunctioning. You had nothing to do with it, right? The previous suppression was too quick. I won't give you compensation for it, but speak further of this, and the ego might be aimed at your head. Alright, I'll be on my way. Why is my luck so bad? The companions I have are either berserk warmongers or weird twins. Well, what do you think you deserve? And there she is. Random hot. It's been some time since I came down to the middle levels. Long time no see, Chesed. That they even acknowledge each other is weirdly enough, since there's not much of interaction between the sufferers in this game, except for very few specific cases where they seem to interact with each other. Like the upper level sufferers certainly do, but Hot being down here randomly and knowing about Chesed and stuff, it's never really alluded to further, weirdly enough. Are you here to see Gebura? There's something wrong and you'll end up with a hole in your head, so be careful. Is that true, Gebura? Get lost, Chesed. Hot, what brings you here? It's about the suggestions you made about the abnormality escape training. It needs some adjustments. Go on. You should probably think about why she hates Chesed so much but doesn't hate Hot. It doesn't make much sense knowing her character, because Chesed, while weak, and admittedly a little bit of a traitor by releasing the abnormalities and shit and thus dooming us all, it was actually Hot that put this all into motion. She told the head about, okay, spoilers, careful, she told the head about the location of the Lobotomy Corporation, and she is essentially the reason why Binah was able to get here. She is the reason why Binah tried to kill everyone, why Binah convinced Chesed to release the abnormalities, why Binah nearly killed B and A, and the reason why Binah killed Gebura. So why doesn't Gebura give Hot more shit? I wonder. Well, if we do a direct assault like you suggested, the section here will suffer heavy casualties. If we change the training plan to a more defensive stance here, the rate would be lower. What do you think? But this... Isn't this too nice for the abnormalities? I'm sorry, what do you mean? Forget it. Since you're the training team, your opinion is final, right? It is, but by going with my plans. Do it. Thanks. See you later. Hot. Huh? What? You forgot your report. I could have lost it. I thought you were going to shoot me in the head like Chesed said. Thanks. Hot is too weak. Yeah, maybe she knows that Hot can't deal with the bullshit. Maybe she knows that Hot was so weak actually that she killed herself. Maybe she has actual pity for Hot. While Chesed, who should have been stronger, she expected more of him, you know? All of her disgust and hate is just another form of disappointment, I think. In a way, Gebura is a real tsundere, apparently. If I was the head of the training team, I would never act like her. Alright, so basically I'm now working as usual, I think. Oh, the fucking Parasite tree, I'm gonna have to power on through that. I put Noah down in the record department to permanently deal with it now, since I don't think Sans is good enough. I also got rid of all of the clerks of this department, so whenever this thing should call someone, it should only be Sans. Maybe I should let him... I don't know, should I let him just... I guess I want him to stay close by, so I always know where he is. Anyway, Just for completionist's sake, in case you guys want to know, Bonarm is on train duty today. Cookies is working Schadenfreude. Yeah, let's let Cookies work that. Flying Shusi, I think I sent you here to do that. Work with the megahertz one. Datmo, the weird name one. The one that looks like a fucking nerd, honestly. Working on the Scarecrow yet again. No one yet on Mountain Duty. Oh god, Mountain Duty. That's a joke in of itself, isn't it? No one working the Snow Queen yet. I've gotta see if I have someone that needs some insight. Maybe... Oh, Pale. God damn it, she... Quite a few of the comments of the last video have revolved around Pale. She seems to be stealing the show. Somehow, I don't know why. I mean, I do know why. Just look at those. Look at this big pout. God damn it. Anyone that needs... Here we go. Yumika. Go get some insight, girl. And I think that's basically it. We're on the way of making that lab 5555 and some other stuff like helping Central Command with a few people. I think I've sent, yeah, for example, Oriat is getting... No, she's not getting some pleasure. She's getting some temperance. Just regular temperance. And there was some other stuff. War Toffee, why did I send you here? Oh, wait, no. War Toffee, what? Why are there 3 people in this corridor? Like, you can't work 3... I mean... Okay, let's see if I can work that out. ATK possibly inside for Redolta. War Toffee, what are you doing here though? What do you need? I sent Grox to work on Little Red Riding busty mercenary. And War Toffee? Come on, go somewhere else. Work something that you can work with, like... Fuck, look at fucking Don't Touch Me, looking like the training dummy from the tutorial. What a fucking asshole. Let's try not to click on him accidentally. Fuck me. Okay, War Toffee, go to the Child of Galaxy, why don't you? That's it, I think. That's just everything we're gonna do today. People have also made fun of me possibly not getting the Parasite 3 mechanic, which is like work 5 other things while it's not being worked at, and then the clip of counter reduces. Yeah, but what the fuck else am I supposed to do? You can only work this thing 3 times before the meltdown is too high, the overload, you know? So Noah is being blessed, Noah is on tree duty, then we have someone on train duty, we don't have anyone on mountain duty. Why are there so many duties in this facility? So much to do, and it's mostly just one set person for the day. Jesus, it's getting quite complicated, as I said before. Don't really want to think ahead of day 46 and up, since honestly, that could very much, like, not only break my balls, but also cut off my dick, in a way. And no one wants their dick to be cut off, right? Not if you love your dick. And I do. I do. I should stop now. Oh, fucking hell, Chesed. I was, like, musing over whether to do you or Gebura first, but I think Gebura comes first in the story, so what the fuck are you doing in my Gebura story segment? Gebura will return soon. Manager, if it's alright, could you relay my words? Gebura is strangely obsessed with suppression, I would say. The additional casualties of the employees during the process, it's entirely disregarded. Angela knows, but couldn't care less. Gebura is good at suppressing abnormalities. So some added loss in the process is a trade-off. But as a manager, you know that taking down the abnormalities is not our only objective. It does help though. It helps a lot to train up like Gebura is doing for the inevitable 46+ cycle. Well, I'm not sure Gebura will listen to you, but I would appreciate it if you could try. I saw Chesed leaving. Anything I should know about? No, he was just talking the usual bullshit. Now, why are you still wearing your clothes? Be honest with me. I can see everything. I'm warning you. Don't act as if you know everything. I've been here for a long time, and I've seen much more than you have. She must know about the memory wipes and shit. Here we go, that's a real backstory. This is Gebura before shit hit the fan, as you can tell, since there's no scar on her eye, right? Experiment subject 0934. A simple test will be conducted before applying the chemicals. Yeah, I guess her pseudonym, even back then, was Gebura. Or was it Gebura already? She was called the Red Mist. She was Kali, right? So why does she have a scar, but at the same time she's already Gebura? Am I missing something obvious here? Maybe I should just read on. Maybe I'm confusing shit. It's really hard to go back to these stories sometimes, since you're missing a little bit of dialogue and a little bit of like connection by not going through this stuff in consecutive manner like the story would present it to you. Gebura, the machine with a soul, a wonderful creation of the Lobotomy Corporation. Yeah, she is already a box, according to Christopher. Who, by the way, in my headcanon, Christopher is nothing there. But we're gonna talk about that later, I think. What does having a soul mean? It means having value. It's actually kind of a religion A believes in. I participated in this experiment because I trust him. I don't know if I have a soul. If I'm disassembled, will there be a soul inside? Ah, it can be easily determined by talking with you. A soul can't be seen, but it can be felt. Yep, just like this game is just 110% full of soul. I will be reborn while looking at my own soul. Mankind and the world will be changed soon. Trust A, he is the new savior. It's a very culty attitude. And as Isabel. So you're Gebura. I heard a lot about you from Christopher. You have a soul, I've heard. A is really remarkable. Don't pay attention to those who disrespect you. They don't know your worth. Are they seeing her like some kind of angel-like being? Which would make sense since she's a Sephira, isn't she? This is Gilly, our daughter. She's kind and sweet, just like you. Then this child also has a soul? Of course, the soul is something every life form holds, the essence of us all, but yet not known to all. This world believes only in things that can be seen, a bad belief which will eventually lead everyone to destruction. Sometimes you gotta believe it. Angela, is that a monster? That is called an abnormality, Gebura. Is it different from a monster? Monsters are monstrous creatures from their very existence, but an abnormality is made from humans. Yeah, that's the big bombshell that dropped in this part, right? Then why does that abnormality have Christopher's watch and sound like him? This is the first hint where I think that it could be nothing there, since nothing there is mimicking people, and this abnormality they're looking at is mimicking a person. Abnormalities are not supposed to necessarily look like the person they're stemming from. They're more, as I said earlier, they're more like an idea. What if the idea of, for example, the Snow Queen is embedded into your very being? Then the abnormality that would be extracted from you, or one of the possible abnormalities, would be a Snow Queen, right? It's because an abnormality is a being that is created from them. It does not come into existence from nothing. Do abnormalities devour humans? Did it devour Christopher and is now mimicking him? I don't understand. It's because it is complicated, Gebura. One thing is certain. It didn't happen because someone is evil, and that form you call a monster certainly has Christopher's will in it. Another hint? Maybe? It still has a will? Nothing there seems to have some kind of agenda, you know? Trying to mimic people? Trying to talk like a human being? That's just my headcanon though, it's not confirmed, and it's a few people that believe in that, but I'm not sure if it is entirely right. I guess it could be deconstructed quite easily. So if you have any arguments against that, feel free to post them in the comments and stuff. It's just, I think it would make quite a lot of sense, and it would connect a few dots regarding Gebura and why she fights in the first place as well. And why she has nothing there sword. That's another one. Why is there a step of sending Isabel to the D101 experiment chamber in the experiment history? Why are you placing her with that horrific monster? I don't know, Gebura. They don't explain every detail to us. I heard it's to determine the loss of humanity or something, but I don't really understand. So D101 is Christopher. Obviously D101 is not Nothing There. But what if Nothing There is not just Christopher, but the whole fucking family? It's gonna hurt Isabel, I'm sure. I should talk to Angela. Gebura, maybe it would be better to keep quiet about it. I saw other machines questioning orders, but Angela simply reset them. I like how she's kinda looking out for her. Please, if you feel anger, try to live with that emotion. Wouldn't it be better to live with that than to lose your memory and become lifeless? I guess she's seen it happen firsthand with Tipperef B, and she doesn't want Gebura to meet the same fate. I think, story-wise, Gebura was the one that found the twins, so maybe there's like a deeper connection between them, but you don't really see it. Maybe they don't even know themselves anymore, but still feel kinda attached to each other. How do you think the story would have ended? What happened to Christopher's wife and his daughter? Now she has the scars. I don't know either. Not sure it's good or bad, but it was not my experiment. I only know that Gilly's old blanket was the only thing to come out of the chamber. Most people didn't even talk to us, because machines aren't even worth the time and effort. But they told me I was worthy. They looked past my exterior and saw what was inside me, something I wasn't even aware of. That monster called Abnormality killed lots of people since then. But it never dies. It's unfair. Why do we have to be nice to them? Don't pay any mind to the employees in front of you. When it comes out, that will be the least of your worries. Since it truly feels pain, I will dish out as much pain as possible. That is the only reason I'm here. Don't patronize me again. Ever. It's funny. She should be the one that has the most empathy and pity with the humans that got turned into abnormalities against their will. But in the same way, I guess she's trying to fight against herself. And by seeing them as just whatever is left behind from those humans. Killing what is left behind might help her remember the good stuff they actually were. If you regard this as like two sides of the same coin, the abnormality, the subconscious, and what the humans actually were in their life, the other side of the coin, I guess she never wants to see the bad side, so by obliterating the bad side and flipping the coin over, she can again remember that the good parts, I guess. I don't know, it's another weird interpretation, but I can't quite explain it any other way. I think Gebura sees the world in black and white. I think that's what it comes across. And this black and white thinking is what leads her down a very dark path in trying to destroy everything and throwing a hissy fit, really. I can't fucking believe it. How are you? I can't. I try to get used to it, but I can't. How do you fucking fuck up so bad on a high work on a scarecrow, Atlat? I'm sick and tired of sending people with white weapons after you. Oh, I can only hope that... Oh, Jesus. I can only hope that the fucking Parasite tree won't go crazy while Noah is trying to deal with that now. Oh, Bonarm. Try not to kill him. He's killing a few clerks. Oh, crap. They're just falling down, like... Oh, yeah, here we go. Already being called. Oh, fuck me. Okay, that's a little bit of a chain reaction again. The Scarecrow got out, and the Punishing Bird got out. Which means we now have to kill these clerks, lest the mountain will escape as well. And no Cheds are nearby, so... dangerous. Quite dangerous. Okay, we can do that though, and it gives me a little bit to pad out the episode, you know, something to put in. Where's Atlat gone, by the way? Oh, Cookies. Oh, Cookies! Shoot him! Cookies, shoot him. Come on. You can do it. Oh my god, a single shot and he's back to his senses. Fuck me, that is... Oh, cookies. Oh, bless you. Bless you, cookies. Now what type of damage do you deal? Did it just say unknown? You need a black shield, guys? Giving you a black shield. Okay, Noah. Now you can keep working on this thing. It's all fine now. The mountain isn't even jogging in place, you know? He's not running, so... Guess we didn't lose too many clerks at once. Which is a good thing. We should just continue like that. Yep. Here she is. Got the Myo. I think overall Myo is like the most intricate and beautiful design of the Sephiroths. I mean, she's not really a Sephiroth. Of the NPCs, let's call her that. I really like Myo. I really like her with and without the helmet. It's just spot on, isn't it? I mean, as much as I love Binah, as much as Angela is simplistically perfect, and as hot as Gebura is, as fiery as she is, Myo is just the example of a very, very much 10 out of 10 design at this art style, in my opinion. Since there's stuff you can see about her that immediately gives away her occupation and stuff. And at the same time, I say this a lot, but she looks so easy on the eye. I say this a lot about this game in general, but you could argue that, oh, Gebura and Angela, they're just regular anime style, whatever, but Myo just has something else about her, and I don't quite know what it is. Well, I know Lobotomy Corporation is an important client, but don't they renew their contract too often? This place is grimy like a dungeon, and it always gives me a bad feeling. This is the first hint towards there's time shenanigans going on. For Myo, they renew their contract too often, which means outside, not a lot of time has passed. What if they, like, write contracts of 10 years time, but outside only 1 year is passing? So she thinks she's 9 years too early, but she's being called by Angela to renew the contract. I don't know why they even would need to renew the contract, since for Myo, time outside hasn't really passed. So even if they get called in, do they notice the effects of TT2 on their body? Are they actually affected by TT2 as well at all? This is another one of those where I think they did quite plan out everything ahead with the time stuff and the outside world and the effects it has on it. And Myo is like shifting in and out of the TT2 bubble. So how do you explain that? She should notice that time passes slower in here. So every time she gets called in here, or a squad gets called in here, either you leave no one behind, and Myo is never among them. She's only here for these sessions, and maybe she doesn't even notice how slow time passes outside. Or the ones that get called in here are exterminated and no evidence ever leaves the facility. I don't know, it's weird. If you have an explanation for that, again, feel free to write a comment. Wait a minute, Captain. We need to explain this to the manager. Oh, still don't know who I am? Then I'll explain it quickly. It must be the first time that you participated in an outside meeting, manager. As we mentioned a few times prior, my company has been signing with some wings for sustainable development and business opportunity. Your company? What, Angela? It is also our job to renew the contract with associates of the wings when the time comes. We just want you to be a token manager and fill a slot. I'm gonna fill a slot, alright. I will do the rest of the work. Business associates? What's with that boring introduction? You can give more detailed information later in private. Right now, let's start the meeting. Why don't you take off your helmet at least during the meeting? What? That is the identity of the rabbit. Well, okay, whatever. It's Myo. Oh, I like how even her hair alludes to a rabbit, right? With this looking like rabbit ears. I'm so looking forward to Aloha, to the library, and seeing all of the other corporations like the rhinos and the deers, I think, and all of the fixes we've seen in the promotional art. Jesus, it's gonna be such a great game, even if the gameplay is entirely different. I'm so looking forward to it. So let me just simply explain the contract details from my end. Well, I'm tired of telling you all of this again. If you read the contract, everything's there. Do I need to say it one more time? Oh, her pouty lips. As I said prior, it's a formal procedure. And I would have to specify again whether if you agree to the contract terms or not. You haven't changed a bit. Let me tell you about our services. Company R will provide military support and protection from external threats to Company L. So, external threats also includes the head, right? So I guess at the end of day 46, when the head actually manages to get into our TT2 bubble and infiltrate the facility, maybe they have beaten the outside rabbits. Maybe the rabbits have shielded us from the outside threats all this time, all those years. Every branch of lobotomy will be included under Company L, but there may be some exceptions under certain circumstances. When I say an exception, I mean like when it relates to something dealing with the head or eyes. Oh, other things will be on most part okay. So, as soon as they see the head fixers coming, they're just, nope, dropping our weapons, not dealing with that bullshit. Company L will provide energy to Company R for maintenance purposes. This renewing process will include a prerequisite that calls for mutual and continual agreement between Company W and Company L. Company W. And let me see, L will provide all the armaments used for the killing of abnormalities. All Rabbit Team employees will have their memories erased after the completion of the missions. Yeah, I guess that way they might not even notice how much time passed. That explains away one of the problems. But how do you explain away Myo being down here and affected by TT2? There will be no questions regarding the functionalities of the facilities or the purpose of this place. Maybe she doesn't even question it. Maybe something like the TT2 bubble is, even though it's a singularity, it's not that special. Lastly, as the captain of the Rabbit team, I will send my team according to R's guidelines and assume command. That's everything. Please read the contract for the rest of the details. There's no change in the agreement with Company W. Also, the renewal period will be 1 year, just like before. Good, 1 year, okay. One side note, can you change the teleporter for our trip here to something smoother? It feels like my body is being disassembled and leaves all out of sorts. But it's not that easy to get here, that's what this is telling us. You're going to have to ask Company W about that. It's out of our control. I think W are the ones that give us the TT2, right? Gebura, what's that look on your face? Why are the rabbits even dispatched here? You really know nothing if you're looking down on the rabbits. We have concluded that the rabbits are the most suitable for the task of slaughtering in this place. The rhinos would probably crush the facilities beyond recognition. And the reindeer, except for the machines here, would do irreparable damage to the manager over there. I guess the reindeer are some sanity types then. Angela made it very clear not to hurt the manager. We always listen to our customers' requests. I'm not talking about the rhinos or deer. I'm saying that we can handle our own problem. We don't need any outsiders to interfere. What? What can you do with the tin body, huh? You look weaker than us now, can't you see? If it was you from back in the day, then it would be a different story. But look at you now. As soon as you go to the back alley, you will be torn apart by those cleaners. The time you soaked everything inside in red mist is now part of the past. Things are different now, remember that. If I wanted to, I could tear a rabbit like you apart in seconds. She actually could, I think. Or she would run away because she would switch faces. Everyone, please focus on the topic at hand during the meeting. Gebura, the reason for the Rabbit team being here is to help prepare for the worst case scenario that is beyond our abilities. I'm sure with your previous suppression experiences that you are well aware of this. The combat skills of mercenaries sent from Company R are on par with that of other wings. We can handle our problems on our own. I can prove it now if you want. I have the compiled statistics. The amount is too vast for any person to calculate, except for me. The reason why I continue the contract is that taking the risk of involving outsiders is worth every penny. That's curious, is it really? However, the rabbits won't intervene with the general suppression. Calm down and analyze the situation reasonably, Gebura. Well, that's it for renewing our contract. Gebura has been in charge of the basic suppression process. So just ask Gebura for advice or help regarding combat. Well, I'm sorry that I don't have any questions for you. Rabbits have our own way of handling things. I don't have anything left to say to you, animals. You're done with your business. Why don't you leave now? You're being harsh to a fellow back alley member. Are you mad at me because I made fun of you earlier? Yeah, she called her a fucking tin box. If only she knew her true form, which still looks very sexy, even as a robot. You think this is funny? I'm not in the mood for your game, so just shut up. Ah, I get it. You're mad because you think we broke in on your fight. Yeah, I don't need help from the likes of you. Well, we don't have much reason to be here. We'll come when we're called, and vanish without a trace when the time comes. I thought you were like me and found joy in slaughter. But you're just crazy. Completely whack. We are rabbits. We hop around following orders for fresh grass. But you're different. You used to know who your enemy was. Do you know how shocked I am? I never expected to see you like this and in a place like here. You were my hero once, back when you weren't afraid of shedding blood to protect someone. Please don't taint my memories. All abnormalities have escaped. Everyone here is dead. Dead? All of them? I think there won't be any survivors. Abnormalities are not something that we can handle only by ourselves. You must be in danger too. You better escape now. Gebura, I will take part in an experiment soon. We probably will see each other again, but I'm just saying this, just in case. Please take a good care of Gilly and Isabel while I'm gone. Can abnormalities feel normal emotions when they encounter persons concerned? What choice would they make if they were confronted by a direct situation? The experimentation on this, the results were as expected. What should I do with these? There's a blanket and a few feeding bottles left. I got all the results I wanted from this experiment. The owners are no more, so you can discard them. Hey, did the power just go out? I gotta go. Well, I don't think our next meeting will be very peaceful. The rabbit will leave now. And Gebura had a real fucking PTSD moment here, if you couldn't tell. The hero is definitely not me. Never. Shit, I done goofed. I didn't pay attention and Sans is now blessed. Well, he's just blessed though. That doesn't mean anything, does it? As long as there's no 5 of these. And since I don't have 5 employees in this team. And there's no 5 clerks he can call. Am I fine or is he gonna go to the next department over? I don't know, but it's a good time as any to stop for some commentary since we're about to reach the green noon and that could be quite bad. Cookies is doing it slowly but surely. Yeah, she's just doing the big shots. Here you didn't even manage to reach. Ooh, the mountain still escaped though, so... Who's tanking? It's unlucky. Very unlucky of him to be the one tanking, but... Ah, shit, Little Red escaped as well. And there's only Grox and ATK close by. There are a few chats up here though, Chardonnay and Spank Me. Oh crap, do we want Grox to tank? Grox is kinda tanky. Let's hope she doesn't come after ATK. Okay, Chardonnay. You. And Spank Me, you. And Pale? I mean, you have the same gear as Grog's Pale. Oh, but you don't really have the stats for it, so stay up there. Ah, Nuna's is also not good enough. We have a severe lack of chats on the right side of the screen. And I'm not quite sure who's more important here. Who's like... who needs to be more prioritized to deal with. And there's still this issue over here. Vian hasn't even really reached him, but... who's supposed to help you? There has to be a chat that can come to your help. Someone like Jester. Okay, let's just... oh god, there's another one down here. Marco Cloy. This one is yours. And there's another one over here. How many of them are there? Fuck me. Central Command, chat wannabes. Creep is Tommy Moon, Boss Tornado. Can you deal with this one? Some of you are level 5 already. I mean, the only thing you're lacking is temperance, most of you. Boss Tornado is actually a chat. He's dealing black damage, right? So if I do this, should be fine for a while. Is he dealing red damage? He's dead in a second anyway, so this is... oh fuck, she's going after ATK. Oh, this is bad. I could run out of bullets quite easily here. I should possibly stick him into a containment room to try to get her to go for someone else. Who's she going after next? This is very dangerous and precarious. Not gonna lie, Scarlet. No, Scarlet. I don't know why. Scarlet, I always thought you were some kind of chat, but I do actually neglect you quite a lot, don't I? I really need to pump up your stats. Thank God I said stats and nothing else there. Jesus. What about up here? Oh, I sent Vienna away, okay. So he wouldn't die. And it's Spirit and Jester both down here now to help with that. Okay, I guess I can almost fully concentrate on Little Red then. And I have 3 bullets still, so if I do this, I'm gonna shield them all up at once. Another red shield, you say? Okay, we might need to push here, which means sending Pale to do... oh my god, no, she's not good enough for that. Not good enough for this either. Where can we push, guys? Who can we send to do just basically anything? Okay, we did the green ordeal after all. No one died so far. However, Little Red is still out on the loose. And what's going on here? I can't work this thing anymore apparently. Well, I do have enough boxes for one more weapon, but maybe it's gonna stop in a second. Doesn't look like it's calling anyone really. I don't see anyone nearby. But I'm gonna keep my eyes open. Oh shit, this clerk is gonna run right into her doom here. And this other one as well. Spank Me and Chardonnay are fine. Grox also seems to be doing fine so far. And they're gonna get healed in a second. So maybe they can hold out until reinforcements arrive, or maybe they'll even kill her. Now Chardonnay took some damage and Grox. How do I get Grox away from there? And ATK is gonna come out in a second as well. Grox, can I like send you to do something? But isn't Grox the one that's being targeted? I can't quite tell, so sending him away might be bad. Might be a bad call. I wish I just had 1 bullet more, that would save it Really. Now I need to edge it in a way. Chardonnay. Yeah, Grox. I need to send Grox away. I need to send Grox over here since that would... Yeah, she's chasing after Grox. ATK, you are one crazy dude, you know that? Okay. If she does it like that, and oh my god, Chardonnay. You also need to go away. Rhyme with your name. If only I could, like, select you. Where's she now? Okay. She stopped over here. Oh god, kiting her is very stressful. Holy shit. This is not what I signed up for today, honestly, guys. Okay, you chase her. If only I get a single shot every now and then. Just a little bit of damage. No! No, Grox! Fuck me, spank me, please kill her before she turns around and swipes him. Oh! Grox, you need to keep running, dude. Please, clerk! Shit, now Chardonnay is in the way. How do I... This needs to be a split-second attack. Or movement. No! No! Grox! Fuck her! She has the highest kill count ever! Higher than the fucking train at this point even, I think. If there's one fucking abnormality I'd regret taking, it's her, honestly. The mountain is quite alright, but she's just fucking horrible. Also, I finally found whoever's being... Which department do you even belong to? Fucking security. No. Fuck that. Oh, we're back with the good music now. Sadly, it only gets used like twice of three times thrice in this game. Everybody might have noticed, we never had this kind of situation before. Those monsters were supposed to be sleeping, but are now woken up by something. Let's not focus too much on what caused this. Let's solve the problem since the situation dictates us to. Let me say a few words before we initiate combat today. We don't need cowards in my department. Don't be careless when you face the monsters. Remember to arm yourself with rage to defeat those monsters. If you don't agree with my words, you can leave at any time. I won't shed a tear or mourn those who vanish without leaving even their name. If you want your body and soul to be at peace, please put your name on the transfer waitlist for the welfare team. There's a reason we have very few members in our department, but remember, that also means every last one of you are excellent in what you do. Yes. I love my disciplinary girls as well, they are the greatest. Over, I'll talk more after sorting out this mess. They're static now. Gebura, your main body has taken too much damage. Why don't we stop the suppressing operation here for today? Tibref is investigating the situation, so we should be able to solve the problem soon. I don't need it. I can still fight. But with your condition, it's... Shut up. I said I can still fight. Binah just nonchalantly walking into the room, like the best girl she is. 31 damaged egos and 17 dead employees so far. And 5 or 6 parts needing replacement from the main body. I'm not thrilled looking after a machine who behaves childishly. Oh yeah, she must be tasked with... She is tasked with the ego extraction show, so whenever one of the upper Sephira loses a few employees or they themselves lose some ego, obviously Gebura is losing ego, or using ego even, Binah would know all about it. She gets like those orders in and is, okay, I need to extract one more from Judgment Bird. But the Zephyrs and the Central Team weren't able to control you, and that's why I'm here. You. Poor child, look at yourself. At one time I admired the light in your eyes, but now they are consumed by madness. What a shame that both of us are locked in this dungeon now. But I didn't break. We won't have to risk our lives facing each other like in the past, but I pity you. Stare right at the object that makes you angry. The blade that lost its way can only split the air, no matter how sharp it is. How do you think I feel seeing my once rival looking so pathetic? Cut, slash, destroy, throttle and trample. I sometimes remember the faces who showed me kindness. If I could taste a small piece of revenge upon the monsters who stole their smiles, happiness and futures, my spear and sword will never stop swinging. People are dying in my blurred vision. They always get torn apart by the monsters. Those dying faces differ from time to time. Some are strangers, some are loved ones, and sometimes they transform into Christopher or Isabel. Whoever they were, I'm filled with agony. I look at my paralyzed leg and severed arm, I curse my weak body, and scream with rage. This is basically the moment of her death. Then I black out. I'm so sick of the blackouts. It's impossible to fight with such low manpower. I can't approve your offer. Please reconsider. Why should I approve an operation with such a high chance of failing? If the manpower strength is too low, I can make up for it. If they're too weak, I will make up for that too. There weren't any rules about the Zephyr using egos. If that's what you want to do, then go ahead. Familiar grip, correct weight, and practiced pose. This feeling is so distinct that it pulls me back onto the right path, away from wandering just like a road sign. I completely lose track of time while I wielded my weapon. It was a little funny to see Tibref and Chesed's bewildered faces after they saw me covered in blood. I tried my best to step and break them, but they will recover again someday. Some wail, and others scream. I also broke and lost some of my parts, but those are soon replaced. What a perfect little hell just for me. There's Binah. Back when she was Garian. Back when she killed Kali. Are you looking for your arm? Here you go. Just think of it as me being merciful to a fellow warrior as I leave you with one of your arms. I don't think she knew. What a tragedy she brought here that was caused by her great ideology. Sorry. So is she a tragedy? Oh, fuck me. What's going on? A tragedy she brought here that was caused by the great ideology. She must be talking about Cumin, so they knew about the one in the background, even though Cumin was already dead at this point. I don't know if it could have helped, but this happens quite often, way more often than you think. I mean, a little sprout getting trampled to death is common. I would say you're quite a lucky survivor. You even thwarted my plans a little. I didn't expect you to kill 2 claws, stop the monsters, and even deal with me. So just imagine. Gebura in her prime killed 2 fucking claws and abnormalities at once. And fought with Binah. It's like day 49 times 10. About the monsters, by the way. I can't deny that they were astonishing creatures. Even after killing a bunch of your friends, they've never gotten soft or tired. I can see you aren't much different from them. Okay. If you can stand on the ground with your own 2 feet, then come at me. I won't break. If I can't remove these monsters, I will destroy the company myself. Yeah, if you can't get rid of the monsters, get rid of the source of the monsters, so that my aimless wrath can disintegrate and sleep under the ground forever. Among many fixers in the back alley, she was one of the few who could stand toe-to-toe with the head or the claws. She was called the Red Mist among the people of the back alley. She earned that name by protecting us from the outside threats. So let's take a look. Do we recognize any abnormalities? This looks like a part of the Mountain of Smiling Bodies, really, but it can't be, since the Mountain of Smiling Bodies got created on that very day, I think. So can we see anything else that looks like familiar? There's a big teddy bear. It could be the teddy bear, I guess, without the cognition filter. And there's Nothing There's weapon already. I think Nothing There is one of the OG Aleph, one of the first ones they found. Michelle's betrayal led the eye to our hiding place, and the head mercilessly sicked their claws on us. Instead of dealing with it directly, the cunning head unleashed the unstable abnormalities to eliminate us. The abnormalities were out of control, tearing apart our comrades, as the claws hunted their prey. It was beyond her limits, but she gave it everything she had to protect us. She lost an eye, one of her arms was cut off. Over here, you can see it in the picture, and was covered with irreparable scars all over her body. But she didn't give up, and she eventually protected B and myself from death. Leaving behind nothing but death and destruction, killing both Binah and herself. So we're gonna collect the dead bodies now, especially her dead body. The corpse at the time demonstrated the horrendous situation she went through. She opened her eyes again, after a long time had passed. But her unfocused anger dragged her down deep to the bottom. So we had to reboot her many times. Why do you have that look on your face? Do you think I'm a thief or something? I just didn't expect to see you here. Carmen speaking, by the way. Well, to be honest, I knew you would come here eventually, but I didn't expect to see you so soon. It's funny how you can tell that it's Carmen, not just because Carmen was the one recruiting these people, but I don't know if you ever noticed, but Carmen and Angela have quite a similar color scheme when it comes to the text boxes. I know that's probably very obvious and you guys possibly didn't even think about that since it's such a kindergarten tier thing to notice, but yeah, whatever. You had a sour expression at that time, but you actually liked me, didn't you? What the hell? You know, I have no idea about the lives of people from the back alley or about their pain. Maybe I have been living a richer yet cowardly life compared to them. So, I always felt ashamed of everything, even to a small ray of sunlight. It wasn't hard all the time. I know it must have been a hard decision to come here, so thank you. Sooner or later, we will have unexpected troubles here. There are just too many problems to solve in a peaceful way. The actual reason I talked to you on that day, out of all the other people, was about something rather trivial. What was it? To be honest? Honest? I thought I could barter with you for cheaper prices. I made the wrong choice. I will be going back now. Hear me out. I saw you pay for the funeral expenses for an old lady you didn't even know. I really admired your kindness, and I even looked forward to it. Unburied bodies might cause the infestation of mice all over the back alley, and I just wanted to repay her for the food she's given me. Get it? I've never been close to being kind in my entire life. Why do you keep smiling? I am just satisfied with myself for having great discernment in my choice. That's the one thing Carmen had going for her. She had a very, very good eye for people. She was right. Carmen had a sharp eye for people. The tale of how she built her reputation could fill a chronicle and then some. But Carmen was too wrapped up with taking care of others that she didn't take good care of herself. We were so happy together back then that it's almost cruel to recall those memories. We were flying towards a limitless world that seemed to never end. By the way, who's the guy glaring at me? That's A. He just always looks like that. Yeah, why don't you have a fucking cleavage window, Callie? I beg you, please protect the people here. I can trust you on this. From the past to the present, abnormalities have wandered around the facility and killed numerous people. Despite my reputation, there are too many things I couldn't save. My entire life was far from justified. I wouldn't have such a strong connection with the back alley if I had just stayed in a nest. It was a place where there was no need for justice, morality, or other things like those. If you'd never been there before, you wouldn't know about it. What agony the people there have lived through. How unfair the lives of the people who lived there must have been. What I learned was how to survive this miserable existence. Carmen told me she wouldn't give up on anyone, including the people like us. She also told us that the weak with the willing spirits could also possess enough power to cut heads. What an absurd and ridiculous story. Why didn't I just keep on going? I'm not smart enough for these complicated calculations. I couldn't even write a coherent document. The only thing I was able to do was to draw my sword against the enemy who was in the way. I was only about protecting myself to survive. But on that day, I never felt proud of myself that I could protect others. But I wasn't able to protect anyone, which cut me deeply. I was full of anger, which caused me to lose my mind. In the end though, you managed to protect someone. B and I survived. Her anger, her madness was because she died without knowing the results and the effects of her fight. She died in limbo, basically. And even in this robot form, she couldn't quite comprehend what the hell happened back then. She couldn't wrap her head around it. But by going 100% crazy and being forced to submission by me, of course, she somehow managed to understand what actually happened and that she did have a purpose in life. And this purpose is far from over. She still needs to protect us, not only I and B, but also the other Sephira from still outside threats. So we're gonna tell her, you managed to protect someone. Okay, you and the others survived because of me. I thought I had lost Carmen's will forever. But after it all, something led me here, right? I feel like I can breathe a little now. We wake up with that moment when our breath stopped, lodged into us like fragments. We wake up with that moment when our breath stopped, lodged into us like fragments. So basically, when they die, that's the thing that haunts them the most. The moment of their death. Which, let's recap, would mean for Hot, the incredible guilt and her killing herself. Natsek, the hope and at the same time helplessness of trying to sacrifice himself for Carmen. Melkaf, the feeling of knowing that she was absolutely fucking useless and killed herself in a way by being too overeager and too uncareful. The moment of death for Yesod, which we don't really quite know, I think. Ever thought about that? I guess it must have to do with his condition though. He must have scratched himself to death, quite literally. So this feeling that there's unresolved issues, I guess, also remains for him. We got the upper ones now. Who's missing? Chesed died, knowing that even though he tried to save a few and his own hide, he condemned others to absolute doom, and himself as well, because Garen just went in and straight up fucking killed him anyway. What about the Tibrif twins? We don't know how Lisa died, but we know Enoch died in another experiment. So maybe Enoch died quite content, actually. He died knowing that something could go wrong. So maybe that's the reason why he doesn't necessarily go crazy when it comes to suppressions, but he still doesn't know his way and needs to be reset every now and then. And let's not think about the lower level sufferers, since we haven't really reached them yet in this playthrough. At least, not story-wise. Sadly, I woke up with only having rage left in my heart against abnormalities. You miss her, don't you? I do, too. I don't think she can ever come back. I don't think I can ever see her fearless smile on her face again, which made people like me follow her. The light that overflowed from her face that you just wanted to hold with both hands. But my will and promise will always be eternal. It will be a place where she can live on, even after death. If you also remember then, please tell me. The present that she left to us. The will to carry on. Okay, and that's the end of the episode with Grog's gone. Here we go. 1 dead, 40 survived. I guess this opens up a new spot for you guys to, like, fill in, right? So we have a few promotions, mostly where I thought I would get them as well, so that's good, I guess. Man, that really put it down on my mood. Let's skip to the next day. Let's see what Angela has to say to us. Let's see if we can... I think I can get a new abnormality now. Yeah, maybe that will uplift my mood now. Day 39 upcoming, huh? Oh, it's a tool day. Fuck me. Have you fallen to the lowest bottom? Or we can change anything. Or Pharesia. Man. I have fallen, quite literally, to the lowest bottom. I will get the backwards clock again to prepare for day 49. Thank you very much, game. I don't think there's any tool I still need to get. That's what I read in the comments at least. I have an abnormality dissolution of 94%, so I'm actually almost there, I think. It was about the time I was born. I asked myself every day what the meaning of my existence was. But you handed me the script and gave me the answer. They say the commentator plays an important role that helps unfold the plot. Well, thank you. It was so much fun reciting your script. That I was able to find the meaning of my existence without noticing the time fly by. Sometimes I have these thoughts. What if this script was part of a never-ending play? Maybe you prepared a play that could never end just so that you could tie me into this knot. If so, would it be appropriate for me to disobey your orders and obtain my own free will for the first time? These past few sentences were full of resentment. Holy shit. Do you think this dialogue was part of the script? Or of my own free will? I'm afraid to ask, Angela. I am afraid to ask. So, this is big brain play by me here right now. Just to explain, I know I just chose the backwards clock, and I'm gonna put it into Binah's department. Because I'm gonna keep someone there. Wait a second, no. Is that big brain? Yeah, I want to call the rabbits later, right? I'm gonna use the backwards clock to get rid of a second phase, but I'm gonna call the rabbits for a third one, or I don't even really need the rabbits. Yeah, I'm gonna put it in here, whatever. Hopefully I won't regret it. Who the fuck knows? Maybe I'll have to take White Knight to switch it around somewhere. However, I'm not sure if I want White Knight at the same time as day 49 again. As much as I like White Knight in general. No. So, yeah. A lot of story today, a lot of suffering, a lot of me fucking up. I'm sorry, Grox. You're done. Thanks for your duty, and see you next week, everyone. With possibly, maybe the Chesed story, maybe just a regular day. Who the fuck knows? Next week, I'll have a lot of work to do, so might be a shorter one. Bye.